Alright guys, hey, it's me Sam here again. I'm coming at you guys with another video. Today we're going to be seeing if the Finalmouse Starlight-12 Pro reaches the hype that it has been ensuing amongst all of us people who love gaming and, just mice in general actually. This is a limited edition. There was only 40,000 of them made, which is like actually insane. It has a full magnesium alloy body and, it's pretty intense for what you're getting, but it's also very intensely priced. So let's go ahead and see if it lives up to the hype. To be honest, I've been using it quite a bit and I've been enjoying it quite a lot. So let's go ahead and hop into the unboxing. So with the unboxing, you're pretty much going to go ahead and get this Finalmouse little box thing. It looks pretty nice actually. The box is actually pretty high quality. It's actually quite small for what you're getting. I actually didn't even know that there was a bottom piece to this, because in all honesty, it was quite hard to get the little bottom piece out. So you pretty much just get your mouse, your unboxing, or like you get your mouse and there's like a little hard plastic bottom plate, which is kind of hard to get out, and you're able to get your infinity skins. So the infinity skins that come with this unboxing is quite insane. They're actually really good. Probably I've never even used mouse grips before, but since the magnesium has a bunch of holes in it, that kind of bothered me when I would like grip the mouse. So using the infinity skins was actually quite useful for me. It added a whole another like level of depth to the mouse, which was like super nice. So let's go ahead and start out with the dimensions of the mouse. So you get your mouse, the length is 12.2 centimeters, the width is 6.3 centimeters or 2.48 inches. The height is a little flat, so it's 3.7 centimeters or 1.46 inches, and the weight for this one is 47 grams. And I guess for the 42, it's supposed to, or for the small, it's supposed to be 42. But when I weighed it out on my scale, I think there is some slight variance that Finalmouse lets you know about. So there is variance. I think mine with the Infinity skins came out to like 51.5 grams, if I'm not mistaken. So it still is quite light, you know what I mean? But definitely not as light as they completely advertise, because I guess there is variance with the magnesium alloy. So this the sensor you're getting here is the Finalmouse, the final sensor, which is an optical 20K DPI. It still has 1,000 hertz. I mean, honestly, it's quite standard stuff. Like Logitech came out with this type of technology in like 2020. So it's nothing new. It's going to be a flawless sensor. It's going to work perfectly just as you expect it to perform, especially with the mouse industry these days. Like there's no bad sensor. So unless it's like just terribly old, that's like where it's like, okay, let's let's kick it up a bit. So there is also no customization software, so you only have this little DPI button, which kind of feels kind of jank to me. For like a $200 mouse, this should be a premium feeling DPI sensor. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I can literally touch it and it's like it's like kind of wobbly, to be honest with you. But you only do have 5 DPI presets, I believe. Or actually 4. It's the 400, 800, 1600, and 32. There's no adjusting that. So if you play on an off sensitivity, I'm sure there is some sort of software, maybe like DM1 or something, where you can kind of look around for. I'll try and link that in the bio somewhere, where you can adjust your DPI settings if you do own the mouse. So these buttons that you have are the Kale 8.0s. So before they were using the Omron 20 mils, kind of like what's in the G Pro X Superlight, and yeah, so basically just Japanese Omrons. But now they're using the Kale 8.0s, which are pretty tactile. They're a little bit heavier for sure than the G Pro X Superlight, but they sound pretty crisp. Let's see here. Other than that, it is still micro USB, which I don't have a problem with. You know what I mean? Like, it would be nice to see them use a USB Type-C, because that's like kind of the universal way to charge most of our stuff nowadays. It could be from your laptop, it could be from all these other things, but For your phone, if you use Android, I know iPhone is probably going to go to USB-C eventually. So, I mean, USB-C would be nice, but micro USB is not that bad. I was using a GPX anyways prior, so I have like a dedicated micro USB cable for it. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal for me, but it could be a deal breaker for some other people. So, I cannot sit there and deny that that's like a downside, especially for a $200 mouse, and like for resale, probably like a $250 mouse. Like, like Finalmouse could make some updates on that. So let's go ahead and talk about the build quality. So Finalmouse is actually plagued with, like, as you guys know, so many QC issues. Like this being a hype type mouse, like, these quality issues are expected with some of these mice, which is like kind of sad to say. Like, if you're gonna spend like over $200 or around that near $200.50 mark, you should have a perfect product in theory. But for some odd reason, Finalmouse still has issues. With my copy, mine is on the slider side of issues. I'm thankful that my scroll wheel is centered. It looks good. It's perfect. The only issue that I have had so far with owning it is sometimes my left click will like hang. It feels like it's hanging, and then it'll click, which is like really weird. So it's like, I mean, you can still actuate it with the same amount of force that you're expecting, but it does you do notice it in game. Like, you'll be like, oh, like you're going to click on a head, or like click to take a shot, or even just scrolling the web, you click and it's just a different click from the consistent clicks that you've been getting from the mouse. And it only happens when you are clicking the mouse after not clicking the left click for like maybe a couple minutes or maybe a couple seconds. It just depends. It's like pretty inconsistent with the random click that it has, but on my mouse, like, that is the only QC issue that I have with it. Other than that, like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me, to be honest. Like, for the performance I'm getting and the weight I'm getting from this mouse, like, I've been snapping on people, just performing much better. My aim's been insane with this mouse. But to be honest, like, yeah, like, that is an issue. Like, if you're paying $200 or close to $250 for a mouse, you should not be having these issues at all. Like, that is a little ridiculous, especially when mice like the Razer mice, like the Death Adder V3 and the Viper V2 are in existence. Like, you should not be having any of those issues, like, whatsoever. But I do also think that aesthetically, this is probably one of the nicest looking Finalmouse, in my opinion, or the most aesthetically pleasing to me personally. Other than the Pegasus, which is the all-white one, I think the Phantom actually kind of looks sick too. But, I mean, I've been straying away from even trying to purchase a Finalmouse just because of all the QC issues that they've been having and the quality issues. Like, I do not want to deal with that for a $200 mouse. Like, if the mouse comes in, like, messed up a little bit, like, okay, you know what, this is something I'm going to live with. This is a purchase I could live with. And hopefully it's used. I'll just go ahead and get it, or like hopefully it's like not the worst, so I can just go ahead and get it, sent into Finalmouse and have them take care of all of it. But thankfully that what they were saying was relatively true. I mean, there are still some QC issues, but I mean, at a mouse of this price point, it's just really hard to recommend to people. I just don't understand I do understand the hype, but I just don't understand how it's so easy to sell a mouse for $200 that will potentially have some sort of QC issues. Like, trust me, I do love the mouse, and I'm just very happy with it. And but it's hard to recommend when you have mice like, the Pulsar X2 out, or like, the Logitech G Pro X Superlight, it's a difficult, it's a hard recommend, to be honest, because you could be getting a janky mouse, you know what I mean? Like, for that price point. And that's where it becomes difficult to recommend. This is what I would recommend, to be honest. I would recommend, Razer just released they just announced a new Viper Mini wireless, and Razer has the best tech on the market right now. I would sit around and wait for that if you're even considering buying this mouse, just because of the fact that it's probably going to be a better mouse. If you like a little bit of a bigger hump, the Razer Viper Mini will probably do that for you in comparison to this mouse. I'm not sure about the weight. I think it might be lighter too. So we'll see when it comes out, and I'm definitely gonna buy a Razer Viper Mini just to try it out. But for now, this Starlight-12 Tenz Pro is my favorite mouse. Like even over the G Pro X Superlight. It's just I feel like I'm able to hit a lot of shots that I probably wouldn't have. Add in a little like sound test for the mouse. So I'm gonna keep it like right in front of the mic so you guys can kind of hear it. So this is what the main clicks sound like. Left click, right click, DPI button. It's very hard to press actually. And then the side buttons. And then the scroll wheel. With that being said, let me know how you guys feel about the mouse itself. Do you guys own one? And leave a comment and just let me know what you guys thought on my thoughts about it, because I think that this is a great mouse and it's my main mouse right now currently. I just think it's a difficult recommend to take. So yeah, so thank you guys for hopping into the video. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Peace.